All right. Good morning, guys. I see some of you guys. It's morning time. It's morning. Hope you got some energy because
Good
today's the day we start
morning. Happy
building
Friday,
our business.
everyone.
Let's go. Happy Friday to you too. Come on. Hope you guys wake up. Come on. Roll below shoulders if you got to. I don't know if you haven't worked out yet or whatever. You haven't drank your salt water or your three cups of water or 5 cup, whatever you do in the morning. But like it's time
Matcha.
for go. And remember this: no matter what happens today, energy creates energy. So it's up to you to fill your cup, right? So you can fill the cup in somebody else. So we're going to talk about some blessings. We're going to talk about some actions. We're going to go deep on the three-way call because I'm going to tell you what I'm seeing right now is those agents who are just saying, you know what? Let me just introduce you to somebody that can actually be a blessing to your business. Man, and the results are like, I mean, I'm seeing like 8 or 9 out of 10. Like the results are ridiculous, but you have to know how to do it. There's a science to it, and today we're going to go over the science. And we're going to talk to. I'm basically going to just talk to a buddy of mine. We got Josie Baez, the director of growth, who's probably done more three-way calls than anybody on this call. I'm just gonna just have a little beer chat with her because I want you guys to see how this kind of works. So I'm going to give you guys a framework. I'm going to do it with her, and you guys kind of see how we would do that in real life. So first off, hopefully last week you guys took some action. We got some great news about how to recruit some Compass agents who are losing their MLS and things of that nature, and who might be looking for a way to showcase their listings into the marketplace, or any other way. So if anybody here have any blessings they want to share, you recruited somebody, you're working with somebody, you've got a new appointment that you're kind of moving that down. You just did a three-way call. I'd love to hear some blessings. We got time for a couple of them. So if anybody want to share how they're doing with agent traction, go ahead, jump on in, Lucy.
All right, good morning, everybody. Lucy Q here, Southwest Florida, following in the footsteps of my trailblazers, the Global Alliance, right? Gil, you're an amazing inspiration to me. So I started focusing on making those audio messages, right? Sending them out, just focus on those audio messages. Like I shared before, their name, hey, it's Lucy, how are you? And delivering something of value. Long story short, that led to a meeting with someone that is looking to open up. I actually have 5 people, but I haven't had enough time to get all 5 people in front of Josie Baez, who is incredible, like you said. But the one I want to use is a local real estate agent. She's a $13 million producer. And of course, she's now looking to branch off. So I built a relationship with her through my mastermind, my events throughout the last 2 years. And I called her. And I said, hey, just wanted to check in, did my audio. We met. She wants to open up her office. I listened to her. I asked the right questions. What's your number one challenge? What do you foresee being your number one fear? And then I asked the $1 million question. Would you be open-minded just in case to explore what the future of your real estate could look like on the number one platform for real estate empire builders in the world, literally? And she said, yeah, sure. I said, I just want you to know something else, just in case. So I planted that seed of doubt, right? Like, okay. I said, I've been in your shoes before, and I know the good, the bad, and the ugly. Got her on the call with Josie. I introduced them. I jumped off so fast because I didn't even want to hear, right? Just in case it went which way, because I didn't know what she was going to say. She's now going to be meeting with Josie again. She now wants to meet with Gil because I spoke about you. She's open. And she says, my mind is racing. I can't stop thinking about this. And I said, I know how you feel. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. The good news is all this is real. Let me get you with a couple of people that switched over their whole company. And she was like, oh my God, that would be amazing. So that's just one. I've more.
Lucy, if I could just interrupt you for 1 second, because I think you're missing something that's really important about this girl. She did 40 transactions last year, and she currently mentors 6 agents and gets 0 in return. She's already an EXP cultural fit. So when I had the conversation with her, she was like, wow. And I kept telling her, like, listen, you're going to open up your own brokerage. It's a hard time to open up your own brokerage. You have a lot of liability. And we haven't even spoken about your expenses with technology, right? What are you getting in return right now for those 6 agents? And she does it because she loves it. So that is somebody who would literally double her business in our platform. And I just wanted to add that because she's amazing. I actually texted her this morning again. She's gonna come.
Awesome. I got 4 more, all because I decided to stay consistent with my audio voice messages. That
Lucy,
and
I love this audio message thing. You mentioned last week, if you missed her last week, one of the gems about the audio message is they're not just seeing the words, they're hearing your voice. And they're hearing your voice, they're hearing your passion, they're hearing your energy. And that is something that I wrote down last week. And I'm like, oh man, that is definitely something I'm putting into it. And I overthought it. And I can tell you right now, I'm going to send about 5 or 6 today just to do it. Right. So I was like, I'm not going to overthink this. I'm just going to send 5 or 6 out because the reality is actions get results. And here's the deal. She's now in a spot where she's like, I've got to follow up people and I'm not even keeping up with what I got to follow up with right now. But like, I can tell you every single person she puts on a 3-way call is going to be a win. Right. And I judge wins by like, they don't get recruited that day. That's not always how it is. In fact, the more busy the agent is, the less chances that they're going to move on a call. But oh boy, once that seed gets put in there and they start thinking of their business being in a different place and they start thinking about logos, and I'm like, hey man, I'll tell you what, why don't we just run your logo in ChatGPT? We'll put our logo in and see if we can make something pretty. And they're like, oh, I don't even use that. Okay, well, let's do that. We'll screen share and we'll kind of play with it and stuff like that. And I just put thoughts. Like the movement just happens. And the
I've got
3-way
a quick
call is
audio
so,
script
so
I'll
important.
put in the chat. I've got a quick audio script I'll put in the chat that I designed to send just to anybody. Like, it doesn't matter whether they know me or don't know me.
What does it say? Just
My
say, tell me
voice.
the script.
So the script is, hey, I see what you're doing in the real estate world, and I really admire it. I'd love for you to come and join me at the Winners Wednesday Productivity Bootcamp. I can't wait to meet you in person. But I say their name, because here's the thing, this is a psychological thing. I'm looking at it from that vantage point. I say their name, which is the #1 word we all love. They hear my voice, right? Now voice recognition. And I'm just sending them an invitation and telling them I love what you're doing. Come visit me at, like, for example, Gil, you have your event that you do every month. I'm inviting them, to Winners Wednesday. And then I'll send them something else, and that's the beginning. It's just a door opener, but it's so easy because most of us don't love calling, but we're still making the connection.
Yeah, for sure.
They
It's funny.
curious.
One more thing I would add to that is I would say, sometimes we scramble to try to like find the perfect class for somebody to watch. And I just wanted to tell you one easy way. I just recruited an agent and it was something that they posted. And he was just being vulnerable on his IG and just talking about something that was happening with his kid. And I just went ahead and found a video. It was like an inspirational video, and I sent it over to him. I was like, "Hey man, I saw your video. I thought about you. Take a look at this." And it just started a very organic conversation, right? And it's we always call it leading with value, right? And it's kind of more like in the way you do it, Lucy, is you lead with heart, right? So like, hey, how can I show this one love? How can I make this person feel better because I am here? And that is the spirit of an agent attractor, right? Someone who seeks the way to make another agent's life better, right? And they're better because you're there. And then what you're doing in the 3-way call is you're saying, okay, you know what? I have a partner that's really good at this, or I have somebody I'd love to introduce to you that might be able to unravel for you or solve this problem for you. And I think that's the power of that 3-way call. But why don't we do 3-way calls? Because we want to try to do it all ourselves. Like, to be honest with you, like, I don't even want to do everything myself. And it's not because I can't, and it's not because I won't or that I'm lazy. It's because I want to expose them to more opportunities. And I've done it the other way. I've made this mistake where I try to be everything to that agent. And what happens is I have to be everything to that agent, right? And that doesn't allow me to build an organization, then help their person. If I have to be the source. And the more you can plug people into EXP and all of their pieces, the better the experience is going to be for that agent, right? You're doing them a disservice by not putting them through a three call, even if you have them. Like if you have them, just having them hear that one more person talk to them and go through that process where they just see a smiling face and it's reassuring, and they can and you know what happens? There's always this, and Josie, you tell me, there's always that extra question they have, that question that they held back from Lucy that they didn't feel comfortable asking, but they go straight to you and they're like, well, what about this? And it's usually not even that big of a deal question, which always makes me feel good because it's like, okay, that's
Yeah.
you're already coming on board. It's just
Yep.
you got
It's
that
usually,
question.
I know that we have them when they're like, okay, but how are my listings gonna get transferred? How does that process work? And you're like, don't worry about it. You know, we got you. We do it all for you. But yeah, I want you guys all on the call to know that there's just basically three things that all of these team leaders and brokerages are thinking of. And I'm saying team leaders and brokerages because that's who I want you to go after. It's basically, how am I going to get my transactions, right? The operational details. Am I actually going to make more money? Can I keep my brand?
Yes.
That's it.
I want to share
Yeah.
something from a perspective of just being an imperfect human. I undervalued, like, I'll stand up and say, my name is Lucy Quinones, and I undervalued the power of the three-way calls because I came from a world when I owned my Century 21 company where you literally were taught, you know, this is a lone man's world. Nobody's really going to help you. You got to do everything yourself because, hello, in the franchise world, even your, you know, your other franchise owners are your worst enemies. So I undervalued the power of that three-way call. And even though you guys would tell me, it just wasn't sinking in. And now this time around, I'm like, okay, you know what? Whether you get it or don't get it, you're going to do it. So that's exactly what I told her. I said, listen, let me get you with someone that is going to give you a whole new perspective. So I think a lot of times we just don't know the power of the three-way call.
One more thing I want to make sure, and I think that knowing your tools is super important. I'm gonna tell you, like, I don't know all the websites, so I just kind of go to Google. And one thing I'm very, very happy about is that EXP is very, what I say, Googleable, right? Like every tool that I want, I can just Google and I'm gonna see what I want. So if you've got somebody and like you're trying to figure out like what can I bring them to? Like there's a ton of stuff that you can bring them to in icon conversations. But if there's one thing right now I'm recruiting to, it's right here, May 7th, right? I'm finding out what agents right now might want to get a jump start on the next quarter. So the way when I talked to someone, I was like, hey, how's business? What could be better? And I was like, and I kind of go deeper on what could be better. Okay, tell me more. I was like, if there's one thing you said, and really what I'm trying to do is get them to say, I want to be accountable. I want a process. I want a system. I'm looking for those things. So, hey, man, we actually have this free coaching program, and I'm going to tell you right now, it's very deliberate. It's very organized, and people are getting incredible results. I was like, I can probably get you into that course. I'm going to take it as well, and it starts on May 7th. Would that be something interesting? It's called Fast Cap Takeover. And listen, I'm telling you, the results are ridiculous. People are coming out of this with 6, 9, 12 appointments in the first 90 days as a result of it. And I just kind of go over like some of the stuff that's going on, right? So I kind of walk them through it and I just want to get them excited about something. There's so many tools that we've got. And by the way, if you've never listened to Icon Conversations, like they're getting really good. Like you're hearing people talking about like, hey, here's what I'm doing for luxury. Here's what I'm doing for commercial. Here's what I'm doing to knock down investors. And you're getting upper echelon people who are going in there and giving away their stuff. Just go through all the Icon Conversations and find the conversation that might be interesting and just share, right? So, like, all I can tell you right now is there is an opportunity in the marketplace. People have had trouble in the first 100 days, and they're looking for answers. And you got to get them to a three-way call. Go ahead, Rebecca.
Hey everyone, good morning. I am excited that you mentioned FastCap because we also have FastCap in Espanol, and that is starting, I think, this week coming up on Wednesday, April 30th. So if you have anyone that is full Spanish speaking, this is huge because There's not many training programs for full Spanish speakers. This is it. So you've got to leverage this, but they're still taking registrants. But I'm excited because I've been doing some networking starting from a few weeks ago with C5, that conference. And then yesterday I was at the C5 conference in Miami. So I continued to do some networking with them. And what we're doing is establishing relationships with other EXP agents in the hopes that we can create a connection and be able to co-sponsor together. And there's such a huge need. So people are wanting to connect. So I already have a bunch of prospects and appointments on my calendar with people who want to talk about, let's co-sponsor. I've got this agent. They're in your market. Many of them are in Miami or in other markets, and they want to connect. So networking with other EXPers is an amazing thing because you never know. I just got a text message last night while we were at dinner from a friend, an EXP friend in California, who says, Rebecca, I want to co-sponsor. Are you available Tuesday at 3 p.m.? I'm like, yes, I am. So, yeah, so there's a lot of opportunities there. So networking with our own EXP agents is now another plus for that as well. That's all I
Good
got.
stuff. Good. You know what? I will tell you, like, with the whole co-sponsoring, like every time you go to an event, there's an opportunity to partner with somebody. There's always somebody that's looking to collaborate with somebody who could see your magic. And by the way, you might be thinking, like, oh, I don't know what I would co-sponsor somebody. It's like, it could just be regional. It could just be that you're in a market that agent's in, and they have a friend that wants to be in your market, just looking for somebody to tag team with. Or it could be something like a language situation. It's like, hell, listen, like, you speak the same language as my client. I don't, but he's a friend of mine, but like, I think he'd be better served at being in that community. Like, get yourself out to events, get yourself in a position to be able to showcase what you could do to be a valued co-sponsor. So I'd like to bring this up on a screen. Can I walk you guys through? Because I think there's 3 parts to a quality three-way call. So, and this was actually created by Casey Gayha. She did a great job just kind of just putting this in a format. And I feel like some people just need a format, right? And the first thing you need to know, understand about this format is, like, what are you trying to accomplish, right? You're trying to put that person in a position to learn, and you're supposed to learn, right? So, and I think that that's a really important part. In fact, she actually, I'm going to be quiet. So she wrote that on her own checklist. I'm going to be quiet during the call, and after I follow the formatted script. And she just kind of puts it up in writing, like what we're going to accomplish there, right? So the first thing is confirm you called, right? So, like, it's very easy for things to fall through the cracks. Always reconfirm with the person and making sure it's still a good time for them, and set the context why we're here, right? Whether it's a half hour, 15 minutes, an hour, doesn't matter. Super grateful for this hour together. The purpose here is to have you meet my partner and show you how we work, and help satisfy your due diligence, your discovery process, and just put you in a safe space to be able to ask any question you want, right? And if you have a theme for the conversation, then you're going to reassess the theme, right? So I want to put you in a situation to see how we work, and just make sure that the luxury department is something that could help you enhance your business, right? And then here's probably, to me, one of the most important ideas of a three-way call. And I've screwed this up personally myself. Edify the prospect. Like, that's the most important thing. The most important person on the call is the prospect, right? And, it doesn't require me to tell them anything about luxury or anything like that. It's about talking about the person, right? Casey writes down, they are the most important person on the call. Do this first. This is the first thing we do call. We do not go into a conversation with the partner until we've edified. Everybody write that down. When we're on a three-way call, we do not talk about the partner until we first edify the prospect. They're the most important person on the call. This is the way you break the ice, right? Talk positive about the experience, invest in complimenting them, words of affirmation. But I think what I like here is, you might want to write it down. What I like about blank, what I admire about them, what I respect about them, right? And it might be what I admire about this person is, look, they've got 7 kids and they're showing up every single day, and she's getting some results. She's really looking to get some more results here and there, stuff like that. But she's a killer. Everything that she learns, she executes. what I admire about him, like, oh, this person used to work over at such and such is where I first met them. And, they always gave me great service. And like, listen, she's always got a smile on her face and blah, blah. She's just a good person. She volunteers over at the Salvation Army. Like she's the type of person that deserves to win, right? What I admire about this person, do not skip this step. It's probably the most important part. If you want them to listen, right, this is where you open their ears by putting some sweet honey in there and letting them hear that you think they're also important, right? That it's not just about this person that you're showcasing. They're the most important part of the call. Then, after you've done that, you're going to want to build some credibility for the person you're introducing, right? And you're going to go through that and talk about that partner, talk about the director of growth, right? And oh man, Josie's an amazing leader. Like she's done this, she's done that. What I admire most about her is like she really takes the time to listen to agents so she can find the best value resources for them. And today we're going to be able to listen to her. And here's her accolades and blah blah blah. And then when you go through that, the next step, number 5, pass it to the partner. And what's my job? My job is to pass the baton and be quiet. And it's almost the same advice my dad gave me when I first joined real estate. My dad said, when you get to the title company, shut up, right? Because anything I should have said, I should have said it already. So really bite. I mean, like, less blood is coming out of your ears because you have something so valuable. Like, wait for your spot, but like let the three-way call have its magic happen. So Josie, I'm like, what advice do you give for people who are going on those three-way calls? What do you do on those three-way calls so they can kind of get an idea of what that looks like? And all directors of growth too.
Yeah, no, that actually we follow a very similar format. The only difference is that before I edify them, the first question that I ask is to make the most out of our time together. What topics are most important for us to cover in the next hour so that this call is a 10 out of 10?
Yeah.
Or
so that's what you bring to the table.
Yes, as the validator, as a third party, because I want to make sure that if there's any objections that she has with EXP, I'm addressing those. And right away, they're like, oh, thank you so much. First of all, you just told them their time is extremely valuable and you're honored that you're honored as the validator that they're sharing their time with them and you're getting straight to the point. You're bringing down those barriers, the big barriers, because the other things, it's not important to them. And I'm taking notes. I'm like, and I'm going to take some notes because I want to make sure that I address everything. And at the end, I say, okay, I covered, commissions, right? I covered how to transfer over your listings. I covered how to icon. I covered stock. Is there anything else that I need to make sure that I address with you and make you feel comfortable to make the next decision? And the best thing is to be silent. That's a trick. Just be silent. If they're silent, that means they're thinking about it. And the more they think about it, the more real that answer is going to be.
We got some gems today, from audio messages to the three-way call to just understanding how to be in the zone on a three-way call is so, so important. Because in that breath, what happens, what I find is when they're thinking, what's happening in there, and it's very psychological, they're looking for that last second objection in their mind. They're looking at like, what can I pull out to like just really say no? And usually nothing comes out. And if something comes out, like we want to encourage them to get it out so we can talk about it, right? The three-way call is a magical experience. Some of you guys, Arturo, who just had some appointments yesterday, should be scheduling your three-way calls today, right? They should be, hey, I'd love to introduce you to Gil. I'd love to introduce you to Jay, or what have you. And I was like, let's see if we can get on his calendar today. I was like, and see if we can figure out how to help you with your goals. And Arturo, you've talked to some people. You probably know what their goals are, right? So is there anybody that you're working with right now that like, you had like 3, 4, 5 people, I think yesterday there, I thought, and what's going on with them?
Yeah, I brought 4 people. I guess the 5th one was one of their assistants, but I invited 4 people. One of them from Orlando, actually 2 of them from the Orlando area, one from St. Cloud and one from Melbourne. And The one from Melbourne actually invited someone herself, so I didn't even invite the other agent. But it was well received overall. A couple of them, left early, but they had, good things to say. One of them is definitely like on board. She came early just to get some more information, and I asked her those questions. I was like, "What's important to you? Like, what are you not getting right now that you're looking for?" Because, and I framed it in like, I just want to make sure that, not only are we a good fit for you, but you're a good fit for us, because, it's not always the same way. It's not a mutual thing. So I think that kind of helped it be like, oh, well, maybe, maybe I'm not a good fit, but turns out she loved everything about it. She has questions about, mostly is financial questions, splits and all of that. So I sent her the model explain video. She said she wanted to look at that. And I said, any questions that you have after that, let me know so that we can get together and go through it. And that's my segue into a three-way call. So I think that she's ready. She just needs to finalize the details in her brain of like what that means. So a three-way call will definitely solidify that.
Yeah, so that's got to be the goal today, right? For those people that through this week, from Monday through Friday, you talk to people, right? Today's the day to get them to the finish line. And the finish line is not an immediate act sometimes. The finish line is just getting them to, okay, we're putting time to think on this. And I can tell you there's something very important on that. We think that we gave somebody a week to think about it, but there's so many things happening in your life. Like they may not even had 5 minutes to actually think about it, but then they block out 30 minutes and that's all they can think about during that 30 minutes, right? The power of what's next cannot be undersold, right? Today's a follow-up day. Follow-up days for the people that you've been working on for a while and for the people that you most recently worked. I got some business cards I got last night. I got to work on those today, and I'm going to use, the audio message or video messages. I'm going to do everything I can. If they don't answer me, like I'm going to make that effort, right? And I guess I accept that some people are going to take me longer, but everybody wants this.
Yeah.
That's my right. And if that's not, if you don't understand that you've got something that everybody wants, right? Like I'll give you an example. And I'm not a doctor or anything like that, but like I've been following my dad's health has been kind of rough and stuff like that. And I went and started looking at a bunch of stuff, and I found this peptide called BPC 157, and he started taking it, and I could see the energy come back in his life and the pain starting going away and blah blah. And do your own research on that, but like when you have that conviction about something, you just want to tell everybody, like I have something that can ease your pain. I have something that can make you feel vigor and life again. Why wouldn't you want to share that? Today's the day we do that. It's Freedom Friday, right? We get on this call for ideas, but we get on this call for action.
Yeah. Gil, if I could just add, like, I want you guys, when you're speaking to these people, to speak to them in confidence, because your one goal on the call is to eliminate their confusion. Eliminate whatever confusion they may have, and realize that when they're speaking to you guys, when they're talking to you guys, they're also discovering. So your questions are really powerful, because when you ask them questions and you remain silent, when they're speaking, they're discovering what's actually important to them. So just keep that in mind. Confidence, let them speak, make it about them, lead with curiosity and not trying to just convince and close, I think that Gil nailed it when he said edify them and let them speak. Like that's my number one lesson. Sometimes I was just trying to go for the close, and they feel that. They feel that. So yeah.
Yeah. And you'd be surprised, like, why somebody makes a move sometimes. It may not be the reason why you would think to make the move, right? So giving them the time to, hey, if you were to make the move, what's important to you? Like, well, how can I best serve you? It's one of my favorite questions. I'd love to spend a couple of minutes, like, what's your best question, right? I love to hear, Josie, what's your best question? Like, I love is like, asking people like, hey, just out of curiosity, how's your business? And it's like, business good? It's like, good. What's good mean? Right. And I was like, what would make it better? How can I help? Right. And how can I help? I just like, I don't even know if I can always help. I'm not always the answer. but I'm really good at helping point them to the right answer or getting a partner to come involved and say, like, you want lead generation? Like, I'm going to now put you on, I'm going to go to threewaycall.com and put you in front of Jay Kinder, and we're going to talk about his lead generation system. Like, and for most people, that's what they need. They just need more leads to have more opportunities, right? So, like, leverage. By the way, like, Jay Kinder yesterday showed us a product that we're going to test out ourselves. We're like, dude, that shit looks fucking awesome. The fast cap system looks freaking awesome. The freaking stuff that you can learn from the icon conversion is freaking awesome. The build at sea is coming up in August. Like, dude, we're gonna have incredible speakers at Build at Sea. We're gonna have 4 to 5 days to spend with Nick Krem and a bunch of other speakers. Like, it's gonna be awesome. Like, you got to be excited. Hey man, what are you doing for fun? Dude, I got this awesome real estate tax write-off we're gonna do over in August. First week in August. It's gonna be on the MSC at the Sea. It's gonna be incredible. We got like some of the top, real estate speakers in the world are gonna be there. It's going to be awesome. Dude, we should do that. I'm thinking about that. What are you thinking about? Right? Yeah. So buildatsea.com. If you don't got a ticket for that, get excited about it. Once you buy your ticket, then you can start telling people about the same opportunity. Don't sit on this. August is going to come flying by. Get your ticket now. Buildatsea.com. Anybody else want to share something?
I'm just going to share 2 very powerful questions. They're super simple. It's, where are you feeling stuck or frustrated? Where are you feeling stuck or frustrated? Have them share, right? And then what would have to change for you within the next year so that you feel more fulfilled in your business? That's it. Yes, Lucy, I love that. Or what's your single most biggest challenge? Or even like, what's keeping you up at night right now? That's it.
Yeah. I talked to a guy yesterday who was like, he must have talked to everybody, but he was literally like handing out his business card to everybody. And, I don't know. I kind of look at the business card kind of old school. He had kind of like an old school swag, older Latino guy handing out his business card. And I was like, oh, I see you got an Android. I was like, dude, let me show you. Let me just give you my contact information. So I showed him how on Android, how to share his contact information. Is like, bro, I don't know anything about technology. I was like, bro, I'll show you. I was like, dude, you're my people. So, I opened up his phone and I just showed him how to open up a damn QR code. It wasn't a big deal, but he was so wowed by that. I was like, dude, we're actually having a tech class next week. Do you want me to invite you to the class? I was like, we go over this stuff all the way. Within a few weeks, you'd be a freaking expert, right? By the way, there's no tech class next week. I'm going to have to figure out how to create a tech class for this guy or find some tech class, because there's always a tech class, right? In my opinion, right? I don't care if I just got to get on the Zoom with Victor and be like, dude, we're doing a tech class. Invite whoever you want. Like, but the reality is like, I just want to capture the energy, right? So don't feel like you have to have all the answers. Just be something willing to offer solutions, right? The one thing I learned from my daughter was the number one negotiation tool ever. If I could, would you, right? Dude, if I could set you up with one of my partners who's actually a technology wizard. He's like the father of AI real estate. And like, I got a coaching call with him on Thursday, but I'd be willing to give you my coaching call. Like how valuable would that be to that guy? Right? I'll give you, like, listen, I'm paying this guy a lot of money, but like, why don't you just get on my call and then we'll just kind of workshop together and you can kind of listen to my coach, right? You guys have people that are incredible at what they do, right at your fingertips, waiting to be on a 3-way call from you. Use them. Got it? Lucy, Devin.
I have another thing I want to share that people can implement. So I got Rebecca on a call with someone that it's not one of the 5 people that I'm going to have meet with Josie, but it's an agent that's new in the business, and she's with an independent. And I asked her the question, are you open-minded to seeing what your business could look like in a futuristic way? And she said yes. So Rebecca spoke to her. Long story short, when I asked her, what's your single most biggest challenge right now in business? Like, what do you feel you're missing? She goes, oh, I really want to get my YouTube channel off the ground. And so I'm always bombarded by Levi's. I'm like, oh my goodness, I have a solution for that. So do you know that if you partner up with me, I literally can have you be also part of the world of probably the world's biggest YouTube channel developer, who's also part of EXP. So I got her to register for one of Levi's classes, because now I'm thinking, I just got to find people's pain. Here's one thing that I learned. So if you ask people what their problem is, it's a pain trigger, right? And people will do more for relieving the pain than even the pleasure, right? So the pleasure would be like, oh, how do you, you want to make more money? Everybody wants to make more money, but it's not really a pain. They have found a way to live on whatever they're making. But if you focus on the pain, like people will take help from a stranger to relieve a pain, right? But they won't take help from a friend to make more money. So I focus on the pain. And so I connected her, and, she says, beginning of May, I'm there, I'm getting everything ready. So I just wanted to share that with this co-sponsorship, find what people are missing, and then go seek somebody that can be a co-sponsor for them, right? Because I'll be the sponsor, and offer that solution.
Yeah. I mean, look, Victor just put up a class he's doing on AI. Like next Friday. And by the way, all of you guys can use that. Like, who could you talk to that couldn't benefit from having higher skills in AI? So like you got the flyer right there. There's something you can introduce to somebody to, right? Hey man, actually going to this class. It's on Friday, May 5th. This guy's killing it on AI. I've got to learn about him, because like the reality is, it's like either you're going to know AI or you're working at freaking Walmart. Like it's no choice. This is not a choice, right? Imagine being that agent in the marketplace that's going to, try to handwrite a contract these days. Like that's what you look like if you don't have AI in your business. That's what you look like. And I'm not, and by the way, you better have a significant understanding of AI. This is not a question of like, oh, I'll dabble with it. No, it has to be part of your business. This is happening. Like, I literally, like, it dumbfounds me when people think that this is a choice. Yep. It's a choice, all right, to be in business or not to be in business. It's not a choice of to be in business and not choose to do this. It's part of our business now. So if you got somebody who's technology, that's what they need. Like this guy's like, dude, amazed by a freaking square reader. Like when I invite him to Victor's class, he's gonna be blown away. All right, we got a couple more minutes. We got 4 more minutes. Anybody else has anything they want to share, ask a question, or what have you?
Yeah, can Victor
I
come
have
and
a
teach that in West Florida?
I'm
I
sure
just
he
saw
would
him
love
in
to.
Tampa.
Yes,
Victor,
Victor,
come to
we need you.
Cape
We need
Coral
you all
Maya.
over the state.
Let's go, Victor. I
I
got
would
a
love
place
that.
in the space
My,
for you.
I would love that. My mission this year is more stages, more awareness, more just pouring into agents really, and just naturally attracting those that really resonate with YouTube and AI, because that really is the future. Digital marketing is the future, AI is the future. So there's no room for dinosaur activities in 2025. I'm sorry. So yeah.
And Victor leads a team that is very focused on YouTube and using AI to generate even more conversion on clients. He's been teaching classes on. I remember it was probably October when Microsoft offered ChatGPT, and we were just like, "I'm going to learn this." And he's like, "Oh, I'm going to learn this." He goes, "I'm going to learn it more than you." It's like, oh, "I'm going to learn it more than you," and I think he's beating me. But the reality is, like, you got to have that conviction. Is like, dude, this is something fun, and it is fun. Like, to be honest with you, like whenever I watch somebody, when the first time I watched somebody use advanced voice mode on ChatGPT, I was blown away that I hadn't even realized that the future changed right in front of my eyes. I got to witness that. Like, I witnessed a AI talking to me, right? And by the way, I think AI is going to change. I don't think we're going to call it AI much longer, because the truth of the matter is that it's almost not feeling artificial anymore. It's very, very natural. Like when I talk to my AI, I can forget that I'm talking to someone or talking to something, I should say, uh, because it has reasoning. It can see what I see. It can hear what I hear. Like we're very, very close. Like Nick Krim said yesterday, like we've just seen a new species be developed right in front of our eyes. So it's bone chilling in one part, but it's exciting on the other. So
That
you know
is
what's
kinda
more
scary.
exciting? Opening up your phone, opening up your app and seeing a new recruit come in. So don't let this time go by without taking action. Message your people, invite them to somewhere, get them on a three-way call, and let's continue to grow our organization. Our kids are counting on it, our families are counting on it, right? Let's make sure that we do something that we're proud of. Invite people in the organization. We are the solution for most agents, right? So let's go out there and build. All right, guys. Talk to you guys soon. Take care, be well. Bye-bye. Go out there and do it.